After showering, he takes a spray can of blue paint and scrawls racist graffiti on the wall at the back of the living room. To simulate a break-in, he roughly removes a fly screen from a rear window. All that's left to do now is to drive away and find somewhere to dispose of the paint can, bloodied clothes and shoes, gardening gloves and murder weapons. At 8 o'clock, he'll pick up his friend, as arranged, for a night out in the city before returning at 11:30 to raise the alarm.
I called my sister's house just to see, because we always talk, and because I didn't get to talk to them, I called them. It was busy. And I tried again, 10 minutes later, again and again, it's busy, and I thought, oh, they're using the internet. So that's why the line was busy.
Now that detectives have a clear picture of events, the next move is to confront Seth about the inconsistencies in his version of events. They let him know that they can disprove his alibi, but Seth is ready for them. He changes his story and now says he caught a taxi from his home to a brothel and was with a prostitute at the time of the murders.
He also enlisted the help of a taxi driver by paying him $50 and said to him that and if anyone asked where I was, please just tell them that you were giving me a lift to Chatswood. The taxi driver took that $50 thinking that he probably had a girlfriend that he was trying to lie for. He was very surprised when I came knocking on his door and told him it was for a triple murder. And he was quick to say that he'd never seen Seth before in his life.
As police continue their intense surveillance on Seth, his behaviour becomes increasingly unstable. Then he makes a sinister threat, which convinces police it's time for them to move in and make the arrest.
The victim of a callous crime.
A horrible crime.
20 years on, how an amazing breakthrough will bring closure. True CSI, next on...
Detectives now know that Seth Gonzalez has murdered his parents and sister, but they still need hard evidence for a conviction. Seth has now changed his alibi and paid an unwitting cab driver and prostitute to back up his story that he was at a brothel at the time of the killings. But by this time, police are monitoring his phone calls and he's under constant surveillance. The investigation progresses for several more months and more of Seth's lies and erratic behaviour come to light. In addition to buying deadly poisons by mail order, it's discovered that he also staged a blackmail scam.
That Seth had sent a letter to a food company claiming that a product had been contaminated and people would die. With no doubts, he was creating a suspect already away from himself if his mother was to die from the poisons.
A picture is emerging of a cunning young man who plans to stay one step ahead of the detectives. The investigation is now a game of cat and mouse, and the pressure is starting to tell on Seth. The media has also been pushing him for interviews, and he finally agrees, but demands a substantial payment. He then agrees to talk to reporter Cara Lawrence of Sydney's Daily Telegraph for no fee, after she convinces him that selling his story would make him look greedy.
He was meek. He behaved very meekly.